Hi, everybody. It's Monica with American English with Monica. I'm so glad you're here. We're studying phrasal verbs, and this week I have two phrasal verbs that are confusing. They often get mixed up by English learners, but also by native speakers. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, thank you. I hope my lessons are helpful. It will be very nice and helpful to me if you can subscribe and like the channel, thumbs up. And also share it. Tell your friends and colleagues who are English learners or ESL teachers that these videos are helpful, and I will keep making them. Thank you so much. This week, the phrasal verb comes from you. Yeah, we had a follower put something in the comments, and his name is John. And John asked me to explain flush out and flesh out. He asked for flesh out. That's the one that John asked. But I'm going to do two that are often confused because they sound really similar. Flesh out and flush out. These are the phrasal verbs this week. Now, I will say these are advanced. These are advanced English, but it's important to know them. They mean the opposite, actually. One means add and one means subtract. But let me give you a little more detail about each one. So I'm glad you asked. Thank you so much, John. That's great. Let's start with flesh out. Now, the word flesh, just so you know, it means skin, the flesh of something. It can be skin on a person. If my flesh, if I get burned from the sun, I have a sunburn on my flesh or my skin. But it also means the skin on like a piece of fruit, for example. Some fruit we eat the flesh, like a peach or a strawberry. And some fruit we peel the flesh off, right? Like a banana. We would peel that first and then eat the fruit inside. Yeah. So just know the word flesh is another word for skin. That might not help you with the phrasal verb, but I want you to know the meaning. It is a noun only. It's never a verb until it's with a preposition and flesh out. So often phrasal verbs have a verb and a preposition, right? But sometimes they have a noun, and this is one of those examples. So flesh out means to add, to expand, to make bigger, to expand. But let me tell you in what context, because we don't use this very often. We use the flesh out when the context is something like a piece of writing, an article or a project or a plan or an idea. So I teach business English, right? So if you are an employee and you have a plan, an idea that you show your manager, and your manager says, "This is great. Can you please flesh it out?" That means that that person wants you to add more information, add more details. Flesh it out. Yes, we can separate this phrasal verb to flesh something out, right? I wrote an article. It was 3 paragraphs. And the editor said, "Please flesh it out. Add more detail, expand. I want 3 pages instead of 3 paragraphs." Flesh it out. So if you need to flesh out something, it means you need to add more detail. To add, to expand, to amplify. Amplify, that's a good verb. Amplify, okay? Make it bigger. Flesh out. Now, it's not that common, but it's important to know the difference between flesh out and flush out. Flush out is the opposite when you need to remove something. You need to edit it, remove, subtract, make it smaller. Okay? This phrasal verb can be separated. You need to flush it out. You wrote a 3-page article. Please flush it out and bring it down to 1 page. Remove, subtract. There are more meanings that I'm going to tell you about flush out. But first, you should know this word flush without the preposition is a verb. And it means to, it's the action verb when we flush the toilet. We remove the waste. All of the water goes through the pipes. And that's important to know for one of the meanings. To clean out with water. To clean with water. That's one of the meanings. So for example, if you take some new medicine, or maybe your doctor says you need to drink more water to help flush out your body. Flush out the new medicine. It's a good idea to drink more water if you had too much alcohol, right? You need to flush out your body, your system with more water. So that's one very common meaning for flush, to flush out. Another meaning is to subtract, to remove, to get rid of waste. Like if you hand in your project and your boss says you've got to flush it out, make it smaller. So to subtract, to remove, to flush something out. The third meaning is when a person or sometimes an animal needs to be flushed out. It means you're forcing them out of hiding. So maybe some criminals, some bad people are hiding, and the military or the police will do something to flush them out, to bring them out of hiding. I know when people hunt animals sometimes, or they need to catch animals, if there are maybe mice or rats in tunnels underground, they might use something to flush out the animals. So to force someone or something out of hiding. Okay. So flesh out means to add more details, flesh it out. And flush out means to reduce, subtract, remove waste, or to force something out of hiding, or to clean something, usually with water. Yeah, this was an interesting phrasal verb request because, like I said, it's advanced. But you'll notice even native speakers confuse these two, flush out and flesh out. But I'm so glad that you want to learn more phrasal verbs. And thank you so much for watching and following and subscribing. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you have any examples or requests for future videos, just type it in the comments. It's great. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time. Bye.